Well, Mr. Bill Carne. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Tom. How are you? Yeah, nice bit of Amy there. I love her singing.
Oh, she's fab, isn't she?
Oh, class
What
act.
a
What a
what
shame.
a
Yeah,
talent. I
yeah.
know. Bill, it's been a busy week in sport, particularly if you're a Bluebirds fan.
Howard West County have had sort of a very, very busy weekend. It's no exaggeration to say that, Tom, as you know. Um, they played on Tuesday evening up at uh, Rutha, sorry, Wednesday evening at Rutha, which is the home of Taswell. And the English translation of Rutha, which is nice hill, bright hill, good hill. And it's a lovely place to go and watch. But they had a tough match. They drew 1-1. They should have won on chances. They didn't take. And then lost on penalties. The skipper, Miss Dylan Rees, missed the first penalty, easy save. And from there, they just smashed the ball into the net, the Taswell people. And they in the end go through, which is a shame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and of course that was a cup competition, wasn't it, Bill? So the league
yeah,
standings stay the same for the Bluebirds at the moment, but
yeah.
the league form's not been great either, is it?
Well, no, three defeats on the trot, albeit by a solitary goal margin each time, Tom. But then tomorrow they're home to Flint Town United. They dropped from first to eighth, but it's just points in it. If they won the two now, they're playing tomorrow and Tuesday. If they won those, then they could be in the top 4 or 5 again. That's the way it is at the moment. Apart from New Saints, who are class act, it's dog eat dog. There's no doubt about that. And they're playing Flint Town, who are doing quite well at the moment. They're in fifth place. They've won 3 and drawn 1 of their 6 games. Do you know what their nickname is?
Oh no, I don't know the Flint Town nickname.
It's called the Silkmen, and I've tried to find out why, but I can't.
The
So if anyone
Silkmen.
knows, the Silkmen, yeah, that's their nickname, and they've been called that for a long time. They play at the Essity Stadium, and they play in black and white stripes and Red Sox, and their manager is Lee Fowler, and they're playing good football. I watch every week on Scorio, which is good, and they're doing okay. So they're at the Bridge Meadow tomorrow. Haverfordwest desperate for a win, and then as if that's not enough, Tuesday there's more pressure. They're at home to Cardiff Met in the league, and Cardiff are fourth in the table.
Oh
They've won
wow.
4 and lost 2 of their 6, but they lost. They were smashed last weekend 7-0 by New Saints. So
Oh
let's hope
wow.
there's another bad day Tuesday. They're called the Archers because their badge of the university is the Archer. That's right.
Yeah.
And they're managed by Ryan Jenkins. They play maroon and blue. Play on the King Coyd Campus Stadium. They've been there a couple of times. It's a big weekend. If Haverfordwest do well, then they could rocket up the table because that's how it is. If they lose 1 or 2, they will stay where they are, and that's pressure. They're 1 point off the 2 relegation places. That's
Oh
the reality of it.
gosh, and this certainly wasn't the position they wanted to be in. The end of last season was looking very promising. Nicky Hayne was in. They had a transfer window, and then of course Nicky moved to Club Bruges, and we've now got Tony Pennock in. He's hit the ground running, but there seems to be this faltering at the moment. So but there's no easy game in this league, is there?
There's not. I mean, if you look, I'm highly impressed by Tony Pennock. I have to say that. I think he's a thinking manager. I think he's going to be good for the club long term. But the forwards are not, they're lacking confidence. I mean, the goal they scored against Taswell was very unusual. Jack Wilson hit a cross from the right, and everybody in a small group of us from Haverfordwest who were there groaned and thought it was a poor cross. And then the next thing it dipped and was in the far corner, a stunning strike, if you like. But, Jamie Davis missed a couple of sitters, Ben Fawcett, some smashing approach play, the finish not quite up to scratch. And in the end, the highlight for me, they've got a young boy of 16 called Harry John. His twin brother Dan was on the bench. Now, there's a young fella to watch out for, Tom. He's not a big guy, but my word, does he buzz in midfield, full of confidence. He got clattered a couple of times. He got up, dusted himself off, and went back in. Remember that name, Harry John?
Harry John, another name to look out for. And of course, the Bluebirds often forced to play the youth academy players coming through, so it is great to see them. But you mentioned up front, they did make a half-time transfer announcement on
Yeah,
Twitter. I don't know if you're aware of this, but
yeah.
Elliot Duggan's going to be joining the firing line there as well. So hopefully we'll get some strength and some accuracy up front with
Yeah,
Elliot.
interesting background. I mean, he's played in several countries. He's just come in. He's from Bath. He's been playing in Ireland, but he's a free agent at the moment. I'm not sure what that means. I know it means he can play. There's no transfer window. I just hope he'll be the answer. I don't know him. I just hope he's physically big and strong. That's what they need. A good ball player who's got a nose for goals. Every club, when they get a new signing, makes it sound as if they've got Messi or someone like that. But we'll wait and see. I hope he'll be the answer because they need someone to put the ball in the net at the moment.
Yeah, but keeping with the round ball, and another club that play in an all-blue kit, the Vikings are doing very well.
Well, Scott Davis is a brilliant young manager. He really is a good manager. I got a lot of time for Scott. I used to teach him. He still calls me sir, which I think is very nice. But his team there are firing on all cylinders. They beat sides. They beat, aside from the JD Cymru South in the previous round. But to go to Lido and play there, it's not an easy place to play, Tom. It's not an easy place.
No.
And they won 1-0. Brennan Devon scored a late goal. Brennan joined them from Tish this year. They're a youngish side. They've got bags of confidence. And guess who they're playing in the next round?
I believe they've got Taftswell, haven't they?
Yeah.
Taftswell,
yeah. It's a different competition, but they'll go to Hakin, to the Obs, and let's see how they get on there. They're a big, physically strong side, Taftswell. Bit cynical, not afraid to use their physical strength. It'll be interesting to see, but I just hope the Vikings keep going. What a flag they're flying for Pembrokeshire. Scott and his boys, brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see. So yeah, we'll wish them all the best in that cup competition, and then we'll fast forward to Monday evening, Bill. Of course, we didn't have a sports show with Eaton Evans and Morris last Monday due to the Queen's funeral, but we're back this Monday. In fact, it's going to be me in the hot seat on Monday evening, and we're going to be hearing from a Commonwealth medalist.
Yeah, you are indeed. Garen Croft has been interviewed by Fraser, as does a gentleman called Paul Gronhot. Now, I've never met him, but he was the winner of, would you believe, the Aberystwyth Blue Monster Swim.
Wow.
Now, you can make of that what you like, but it's been a daunting challenge. I think Finton Godkin, who organises these events, they were called Man Up. I don't think they're called that now, but the things that they do. When I went to Fraser's wedding, they were showing, or they were just below on the cliff, there was a lake that was a little bit dank, to say the least. And one of their competitions, a swim through that. Well, I'd have thought that was a typhoid job swimming there, but people love these challenges. Fraser does. I know you're not averse to a little bit of a challenge. So we got those, and then I've been talking to Graham Brockway. I know he's been talking to you as well. I've got a slightly different perspective because I'm involved in this. I do the MCing for that. Yeah. I spoke to Graham, very interesting. I was down the gym watching him coach the new assistant coaches he's got coming through. They've got their exams today. We wish them luck. And I've also spoken to Nina Bishop, who is the most physically tough rugby player I've ever come across in ladies rugby. She's an Amazon. She works in the fire brigade. She loves her rugby. She trains with Graham's wife. So Jill, interesting with that, she's just joined a team in Wales now that are playing veterans ladies rugby. Over 35s, I have to admit to being over 35. So, yeah.
But that's all they have to admit. There's no date of birth on there.
No. So you've got 4 interesting interviews there.
Fantastic.
I can tell you that.
I'm looking forward to Monday evening already. So that's from 7:00 on Monday evening. And you mentioned women's rugby there. Of course, the Welsh Women's World Cup squad has been announced, which involves Jasmine Joyce and Lisa Neumann, both from St David's areas of Pembrokeshire.
Yeah, that's right. And they're both talented players. It was quite nice last week. Ben Joyce scored a try for St David's. And there was his sister, Jasmine, cheering him along on the touchline, and her partner. So lovely, lovely, lovely. And they're both, from rugby-orientated families. I mean, I know with Lisa, her brother Moritz is still a very good rugby player. So, yeah, we wish them every success, don't we?
Yes, we do. And before we look at the fixtures for this weekend, on Wednesday, we had Alan on the show. The Sport Pembrokeshire Awards have been launched. The nominations have been launched, Bill.
Yes, Alan Jones has organised that for many years now and done a brilliant job under Ben Field. Ben's gone to football now, and Matthew Freeman's in charge. But Alan takes charge of that. He does an amazing job. I've worked with him for many years as the MC there. He's a great guy. Best golfer I've ever known in Pembrokeshire. He won the Pembrokeshire and Dyfed championships 3 times in his 40s. He's very good, very gifted, all-round sportsman. So he does that, and you haven't been, Tom, and you're hoping to go this year. And I tell you, it'll be a night to remember. Hopefully, it'll be back this year to full complement, huge crowd. All we need now is people to nominate their choices for the huge number of categories. They range from junior players through disabled, through lifetime achievement, the chairman's award, all sorts of things. And I think if I had a criticism of the Pembrokeshire rugby, football, cricket fraternity, all of them, the whole sporting fraternity, they tend to think about people they've got in their club, someone else will nominate them. Or they were nominated before and they didn't quite win then. If you've got someone in your club who puts the time in, who's a star, who's a worker, who does little things, nominate them. Because even the nomination, they get invited on the night. They get a certificate, they get praise on the night, recognition in the local press, and in the end, it is a magic night, and it celebrates everything that's good about local sport. I can tell you that. There are a number of times, I'm not ashamed to say, Tom, I've been on stage and I've had a tear. Once or twice, I've had to stop speaking because I've been so moved by the most amazing things. One night, when we're talking, I'll tell you about some of the things there that have moved me. They're amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds amazing. So there you go. You're hearing it from Bill. Put a nomination in. It's not onerous. I think it's capped at 200 words anyway. So they're only short nominations, quick, succinct bullet points as to why you think they deserve it. There's loads of categories there. And there's information on the Sport Pembrokeshire website on purewestradio.com. So no excuse not to put those nominations in. So get it in there. And then just very quickly then,
Tom,
Bill.
before you go, can I just say on that topic, sorry.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. 200 words. I helped to do the sub-editing of the nominations. It doesn't improve the chance by having 10 people nominating from the same club. 1 or 2 perhaps, but 200 words. I've had some that have been 1,800 words in the past. It doesn't do the person any justice in the end. Short, bullet points, 200, no more than 250, and do that well, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. So get those nominations in, top quality, short and sharp, and you never know, you might just make someone's evening on that event, which is coming up in a couple of months' time. And then fixtures for this weekend. I'm unavailable for Broadhaven Seconds because I'm working, sadly, but I did put my boots on last week, Bill. But we've got some rugby fixtures coming up, haven't we, over the weekend?
Fortunately, we're back to league rugby, not the stuff that went on last week, which is it's the logistical problems that competition. It's not a bad idea, but if you look at some clubs, they're playing 3 games in that competition. Sorry to bang on about it, but a lot of them half of them will have 2 home games, half of them will have 2 away games. And I was talking to a guy from Man United last week. They've got 2 away games. That's going to cost them £1,200 in travel. No money coming into the club that weekend.
No,
and that's taking huge out of their reserves. But this week it's league rugby. Narberth have to travel to Bedwas. That's another tough one. Like Haverfordwest County, Tom, there are no easy games in that championship division. So the Otters will go there hoping to keep, playing well. They've got a very young side. But they're talented. So that's that one. Crymych travel to Gorsinan in Division 1, and we've got a local derby to savour. That's Pembroke against Whitland. Traditionally old rivals. Pembroke, struggling, at that level at the moment, but Geraint Lewis has got them playing well. They almost won last week. They lost by 1 blinking point. So there's those games. Another local derby in Division 2, Fishguard and Goodwick play Tenby United. So that'll be a game to savour. And Milford are also at home to Pontyberem. And then in Division 3 West A, Haverfordwest travelled to Lampeter. They lost their first league game, which was a little bit of a shock. Neyland play at home to St Clair's. Neyland playing some good rugby. They got some attacking players there, my word. Pembroke Quins play Langham. Now, that's a traditional game, if you like, yeah? I think at one time, when there was no bridge, they might have had a ferry across to there.
Of course, yeah.
That was the day, yeah. I'm not that old that I remember going. And then St David's hosts Cardigan. So a full programme. And let's hope everyone involved, everyone on the full team, and rugby being played well.
There we go. Well, there you have it. There's your Pembrokeshire Sports Update with Bill Carne. Thank you so much, Bill. We've covered a lot of various of the two different size balls there, and well, let's hope for another brilliant weekend. The weather's supposed to be nice for tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
So long may it continue, and yeah, we'll catch up with your interviews on Monday evening with the Pure West Sports Show, Eaton Evans and Morris. And you've picked the song for Feel Good Friday for us this morning, Bill. What have you gone for?
Well, I love 60s music, you know that. Marmalade are a group that are known for Obla Di Obla Da, which is a daftest title I've heard, other than Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. But they've got another group song that we love, Marilyn and I, called Living Things. So if you could play that in the morning. And can I tell you, Tom, I shouldn't say this, Marilyn will kill me. It is 59 years today that we first went out together.
Oh, well, Llongo Bachiadau, congratulations. That's amazing.
People keep telling me it's Marilyn deserves the medal, and I can agree.
Well, you surprised me with those number of years there, Bill. You don't look a day over 40, either of you, so it's fine.
yeah, you better get on your standard 10 license.
We've got some traffic and travel on the way, and you've heard it here from Bill. We've got Marmalade, Loving Things on the way. Bill, as ever, thank you so much for your time this morning.
I hope everyone has a good sporting weekend.
Feel Good Friday with Pems Paving. Your one